Where them hands at? Why everybody hand ain't up? I'm going to show you why it's very important to have that full faith. You know why? We the representing nation in the earth, right? Huh? Ain't we the ambassadors of the Most High on this face of the planet?
Right.
Okay. Well, guess what? You got people running around in the earth right now, right? You got the Islamic, you know, the various nations that's in Saudi and so on and so forth, right? I read this article yesterday. Just read that particular, that top portion right there. Now I said, read that bottom portion of that precept and then touch that. Talk about faith. Yeah.
And this is the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith.
You see that? So again, I asked that question, how many of us have that faith that to conquer the world? We need to have that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other people that's displaying this type of faith and they ain't the chosen of the Most High. Read that.
Qatari women's basketball team quit international games over ban on wearing the hijab, saying...
Hold that. Now basically what went on, these women from Qatar over there in Saudi Arabia were invited to play in the Asian Games. The Asian Games come second to the Olympics. So it's one of the biggest world platforms for all gaming, right? And there's different portions of that particular aspect of the Asian Games where they allow the hijab and all the Islamic garb. But these sisters right here, they decided to do what?
Quit international games over the ban on wearing the hijab.
So they come out there, they ready to hoop. You know what I'm saying? But they got their heads covered. And these people say, nah, you got to uncover your head. And they said, what? We going out there anyway. They said, nah, y'all got to uncover y'all head. But they said, okay, we out of here. Now these was the choice women of Qatar that could go out and represent that country in basketball. So you know that means they going out there practicing. They doing their thing to get selected to be represented. You know what I'm saying? But they had enough faith to say, we out of here.
Then to be 100% honest, all of the women on the team weren't of the same faith. All of them didn't have their head covered. So you had even supporters of these people that said, you know what, I'm going to give it up right along with you. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to see that these people was doing this thing and our people get crazy about wearing fringes to work.
Exactly. And that's my whole point of even touching it, because again, like that scripture says, we have the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith. But honestly, are we exemplifying that today? Do we truly have that type of faith in the Most High? You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, my mom's didn't represented that, right? Trav's mom represented that big time. I ain't gonna hold you up. To quit a job, you done work for how long? 15 long years, right? And turn around and say, you know, I can't deal with it. I'm not serving no more pork. I'm not touching it. I quit. That's that faith that conquers the world.
Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what each and every last one of us got to exemplify. How in the world is these people that's dealing with a paganized religion got enough to quit one of the biggest games on the face of the earth in respect of their faith, which is corrupt? Do we have that same walk? Because I bet you Kobe Bryant, and he had a beard, and they invited him to the USA, you know, represent USA. What are you going to do? He's chopping that joint. You know what I'm saying? They say, well, look here, you know, Kobe learned the truth and say, hey, well, I got to keep it savage. No, brother, you getting out here, you're going to play 48 minutes. What Kobe Bryant going to do?
The Most High going to give me grace on this.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He ain't exemplifying that faith that will conquer the world. These other nations is. That's a shame on us. We got to step it up. Walk in that spirit of might. Let's deal with the spirit of knowledge. This is H 1847 from 30:45. And it means to ascertain by seeing, or to have the knowledge to be able to see, wisdom, understanding, and those things that's key to the Most High. Let's go to Isaiah 53:11. I know my choir will probably quote this verbatim. All right? Go there. The spirit of knowledge. Let's see how important that is. All representing the seven spirits of the Most High, the Mashiach. Yeshaya help this brother out.
Where he at?
Go ahead.
Yeshayahu, chapter 53 and verse 11. He shall see of the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servants justify many.
You see that? So that spirit that was upon Hamashiach, he did what? He justified many. So each and every last one of us, when you break down that term justify, it means to make one right back with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because each and every last one of us had the death penalty upon our head for violating the Most High's commandments. And it says, by his knowledge, he justified many. Because he does what? Read on.
For he shall bear their iniquities.
You see that? So by his knowledge, he came and kept the law fully and then turned around and had to bear our iniquities. That's something to give him great honor for. Matter of fact, let's give him another round of applause. All praises due forever. Let's get Luke chapter 1 and verse 69. Because him bringing that knowledge and understanding was what led those 12 brothers to walk through and compose what we have as the New Testament. To show, to validate that the Most High was faithful and sent the Mashiach. Luke 1, and we'll pick it up at the 69th verse.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 69. Increased or blessed be our master of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
You see that? So the Most High raised up a horn. What does horn represent? When it says he has raised up a horn of salvation for us, what does that horn represent? Power, right, exactly. Might, power. Read on.
Verse 70. As he spake by the mouth of his Kadesh prophets.
You see that? So he promised, we just read in the prophet Yeshayahu, that he would justify many by his knowledge. Drop down to verse 77.
Verse 77. To give knowledge of salvation
to give what?
To give knowledge of salvation unto his people.
Unto his who?
Unto his people.
You see that? So the Most High put that within our hands. That's why we charged with going out, waking up the 12 tribes, and then taking it to the other nations. The Most High gave us this knowledge. So we got to walk in that spirit and cherish it all the time. That's why it's imperative to stay in your word on the regular basis. Again, not just the Shabbat, not just whenever you can get a free chance. Any chance you get, eat this knowledge up. Because that's how you will flourish in the spirit. All right? That's the spirit of knowledge. Let's get the spirit of fear. This was the sixth spirit that was mentioned in Isaiah 11. And it's from H3374 and derived from H3372. And it means to revere and be afraid. So, the Mashiach gave us that prime example, how to fear the Most High, right? He feared it all the way up until what point? To death, right? None of us walking around in this room today can say that. But he laid down that example for us. And now we have to build to that particular quality. Where you fear the Most High and keeping his commandments to the point of death. Let's touch 2 Chronicles chapter 6 and pick it up at the 24th verse. 2 Chronicles chapter 6 and verse 24. Again, keying in on the seven spirits of the Most High, where we have to exemplify these last days. Yeah, 2 Chronicles 6 and verse 24.
The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 6 and verse 24.
Now, just a little background understanding. This is the prayer that King Shlomo laid down for the children of Israel after the temple was built. So check out what he says.
And if your people Israel be put to the worst before the enemy.
Be put to what?
Be put to the worst before the enemy.
Now y'all think about it. In this last captivity we experiencing, haven't we been put to the worst? Yay? Nay? We've been put to the worst. I'm going to be honest with you. The mere fact we still run around here telling, man, my hair nappy. You know what I'm saying? Man, you light skin, I'm dark. You know what I'm saying? My Aunt Maccabee think he your shark color. Based on that. These people that put us to the worst. Where we sit here arguing skin tone. You know what I'm saying? But our heritage has been snatched from us, from the rooter to the tutor. You know what I'm saying? The Most High said our enemies put us to the worst. But it's a prayer right here, special. Read on.
Because they have sinned against you, and shall return and confess your name.
You see that? And that's what we have done. We coming in, we understand that the Most High has a special name. The Mashiach got a special name. And we coming and we confessing that. Because that's how we get repentance. You know, that's how the Most High begins to hear you. Read on.
And pray and make supplication before you in this house. Then hear you from the Shamaim, and forgive the sins of your people Israel.
And do what?
And bring them again unto the land which you gave them.
Drop down to verse 31.
Verse 31. That they may fear you.
That they may do what?
That they may fear you.
So again, that we may respect and revere the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Right? If you truly fear the Most High, it's like, you know what? If I keep doing this thing that's contrary to the law, I'm going to be put to death. I mean, honestly, I think about this all the time. And I ain't nowhere near perfected state. But one thing that I am scared of is facing the Most High head on, and I ain't in the right situation. I ain't going to hold you up. I do not want to face him. He'd be like, yeah, you thought you was in, huh? Beat it. I don't want that. And I hope each and every last one of us in this room don't want that. So we got to get to the point where we fear the Most High, man, where you don't want to break no statute, no commandment, from the least to the greatest. And that's very, very key. Finish that out.
In your ways. So
from the top.
Verse 31. That they may fear you, to walk in your ways, so long as they live in the land which you gave unto our fathers.
See that? So again, when we get back to the land, when you make it through, it ain't you going to have that fear in your heart. Especially when we go through what we get ready to go through. You know what I'm saying? You're going to understand the Most High brought us a long way. And I ain't going back. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't going back.
I ain't going back. But we got to have that fear. Get Psalms 2:11. We got to get to the point where you fear the Most High to where it's like, you know what, I ain't violating. And what do that translate to? That's talking about the commandments, right? But that's actually dealing with how you deal with your brother as well, because that's a part of the law. A lot of times we don't even take that into account. Yeah, we'll keep Shabbat. You ain't going to put up no idol. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to violate his name. When it comes to your brother, oh boy, it's a whole other issue. Grudge is going to be held. You know what I'm saying? Brother's going to be looking at brother sideways. No forgiveness. All of that. And that's violating the law. What does Leviticus 19 say? Don't hold a grudge against who?
Your brother.
Your brother. A lot of us do that. You know what I'm saying? We're guilty of that. That's something we got to check. Psalms 2:11.
Psalms chapter 2 and verse 11. Serve Yahuwah with fear.
Do what?
Serve Yahuwah with fear.
And what else?
And rejoice with trembling.
You see that? So he tells you to rejoice with trembling. So be happy and shaken at the same time. Imagine that. Think about that. I mean, honestly, you know, the world will look at this and be like, man, these niggas is crazy. You see what them folks say? Rejoice with trembling. But at the same time, you got to rejoice because you got to have that what? That element of what?
Confidence.
That you doing what the Most High tell you to do and that you're going to be okay. But if I violate, what's coming?
The lake of fire.
That sword's coming. Exactly. So we got to have that spirit of fear. Let's tone it down back there, y'all. The last spirit, which is the spirit of judgment. Now, we ain't going to be able to operate in this particular definition up until Mashiach comes back. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to be operating in it. And it comes from H8199. And it means to pronounce sentence, to vindicate, and to punish. Now, in the church, they say what? What's one of the biggest cliches they have in the Christian church? Only who?
Only God can judge.
Right. That's one of the biggest things. They don't understand what the scriptures is talking about. It said in 1 Corinthians 5, it say that judgment is given to who? To the saints. So in the end, we going to operate in judging all unrighteousness. You know what I'm saying?
Saints going to judge the world.
Exactly.
Judge the smallest part?
Exactly. But again, that definition says to pronounce sentence. So when a lot of our people, our family that's Christians or what have you, and they say, don't judge me, I can eat pork, I just pray over it. Nah. When you tell them that it's wrong, and then go and show them Isaiah 66 where it says what? That sword gonna come upon you if you keep in it, that's not pronouncing sentence. You basically letting them know, look here, you keep violating, this is what's gonna happen to you. And the Mashiach gonna pronounce this sentence. You know what I'm saying? Let's touch some scriptures on that. Let's go to, go ahead.
Isaiah 66.
Isaiah 66. You talking about as far as with the pork? Okay, yeah, Isaiah, we'll go there real quick. Isaiah 66 and verse 15. And we'll come back. The book of Isaiah, chapter 66. And this is a key. This is key right here.
Yeshayahu, chapter 66.
Oh, you good, you good. You got it, Mom? Isaiah 66, and we'll pick it up at the 15th verse. Yeah, definitely put this in your repertoire.
Verse 15. For behold, Yahuwah will come with fire.
Will do what?
Will come with fire.
Now, this is the spirit of judgment right here. It's what people don't realize. Well, don't judge me. I can put a tree in my house. Yeah, okay, keep doing it if you want to. Right? Eat that pork chop if you want to. Let's see what he said. Read on.
Yahuwah will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
With his what?
With his chariots like a whirlwind.
To do what?
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Now, that's the spirit of judgment. While the Most High been sitting back quietly, long suffering for all the transgressions of Israel and all the other nations. But when he decides to rise up to the prey, it's over with. He coming to plead with fire. Read on.
For by fire and by his sword will Yahuwah plead with all flesh.
Will do what?
Will plead with all flesh.
Read.
And the slain of Yahuwah shall be many.
There's only going to be a few.
Shall be many.
There's going to be a revival and everybody's going to come to Christ.
Shall be many.
There's going to be a lot of dead folks. But my head's the clincher. Read on.
They that sanctify themselves.
They that do what?
They that sanctify themselves.
Well, I'm having a holy convocation on March 3rd. Ain't got nothing to do with the holy days in the scripture. My pastor made it up. They that do what?
They that sanctify themselves. And purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree. In the midst, eating swine's flesh.
Doing what?
Eating swine's flesh.
No, brother, I'm saved and sanctified. As long as I pray over it, I'm good.
Eating swine's flesh. And the abomination of the mouse shall be consumed together.
Shall be what?
Shall be consumed together.
And that's the spirit of judgment that's going to come upon our people that want to continue violating the Most High's law. And then they'll turn around and say, well, surely he won't kill me for eating some chitlins. Yes, he will. You know why? Because the mere fact that you want to sit down and eat that when he told you not to, you'll violate everything else. You know what I'm saying? Satan will come through looking as good as all I do and say, bow down to me. Okay, yes, I will. You know what I'm saying?
What did he tell Adam and Eve not to do?
To do what?
What did he tell them not to do?
Not to eat from the tree.
Just that simple.
Just that simple. But that's the thing. Our people say, well, no, my God wouldn't do that. Yeah, because your God is Satan. But the Most High ain't playing. He's faithful. He's just. He's long-suffering. But at the same time, he's going to execute judgment when need be. If you're going to continue to be hard-headed, he's going to bring it down. All right? Let's get 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. Where we go? Look at that. Transition real quick. We're going to pick this up at 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. Matter of fact, hold that. Give me Psalms 94. I'm sorry. Psalms 94 and verse 14. The book of Psalms chapter 94 and verse 14. Still dealing with this lad, the spirit of judgment.
Psalms 94 and verse 13. That you may give him rest from the days of adversity until the pit be digged for the wicked.
See that? So that ain't gonna be nothing nice. That judgment is gonna come down and that pit's gonna be dug. And guess who's gonna end up in it? The wicked, right? Read on.
For Yahuwah will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance.
You see that? So he promised us that. So that goes back and helps personify, what was the name of your lesson? The elements of confidence. Right. It says the Most High will not cast off his people, neither forsake his inheritance. You're doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to be good. Read verse 15.
But judgment shall return unto righteousness.
But judgment shall do what?
Shall return unto righteousness.
Everybody striving for righteousness in this room, right?
Exactly.
Okay, real quick. Where can we get the definition for righteousness at in the script? Huh? Come on now, we say we striving for righteousness. So if somebody come, a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist come and say, well, what's right? Well, Buddha, he believed in loving people and, that's righteous. What would you answer them? What scripture to define what righteousness is? And what? All right, brother. That's right. So it says, judgment shall return to righteousness. So we got to operate in that spirit at all times. Read on.
And all the upright in heart shall follow it.
Everybody in this room striving to be upright, right? Elder Lutalo, I know you are. Sister Wanda, without question. Joshua, you working on it. You're doing good at it. Getting better, brother. Sister Sakari, you striving to be upright? Are you striving to be upright? Okay, give me an example. Okay. That's right. Sister Sade, you striving to be upright? Huh? Of course. You ain't beating on your husband tonight. Nah, I'm messing with you. We all got to strive to be upright, right? Straight up. Don't go home and beat him up, sister. He ain't saying nothing. I'll just throw that out there. Just messing with you. But we all got to strive to do that, right? Because he read the next verse. Now here's the key. Verse 16.
Verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Now it's a question mark right there. He says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Read.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Y'all willing to do that? Y'all willing to keep the commandments all the way to death? Huh? Y'all willing for the Most High to give you that sword for you to stand up and put somebody to death for violating?
That's right.
Be honest. That's right. Sister Wanda, if the Most High came to you and said, I'm giving you this sword, put her to death, would you do it? Right. Hey, Ma, I gotta ask you. This is key. If the Most High gave you the sword and somebody wicked as all our doors don't want to hear, would you be able to put them to death for their iniquity?
Yes.
Okay.
Only reason why I say yes is because if I don't, he gonna take care of me.
Yeah, he gonna take care of you.
Oh man, that's right.
Right. No doubt.
That's a great point.
That's a great point. That's that fear, right? Again, that's that spirit of fear. I got to carry out this duty no matter what. Now that might get rough, because you think about it. Now the prophecy is saying, if when we back in the land and your child rise up and talk about another God, guess what's going to happen? His parents got to put him to death.
So baby, I love you.
So we got to go. So you get over into the land, right? And y'all forbid, Trav turn around and talk about, man, I think Jesus is the one we were mistaken, right? And the Most High be like, you know what? That boy knew that. And
Like, I love you, but you gotta go.
I'm glad that all of y'all laughed that hard. I mean, it's very far-fetched for that to happen.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm glad y'all laughed that hard. No question about that.
But you know that would be easy, but
Yeah, it got to be.
the same thing. If I don't, you don't get me.
Right.
Be like, Mama, please.
Right.
I'll check it tomorrow.
Right. But that's that. Yeah, close your eyes.
It's gonna be quick.
Hey, just make sure you swipe one time. Let's get it over with.
Thought this through.
Hey, hit that boy in the fourth rib like Joab. Get it right over. Oh, you out of here, bro. But no, that's something real. But it's a question here. And it says, who will rise up against the evildoers? And we know that it's our captain and king. So he's going to get to rise up against these evildoers first and foremost. Then we'll be gathered into his army, right? Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and pick it up at verse 6. It's going to be the last couple verses on this particular lesson.
The second epistle,
Make sure we quiet it down, yo.
Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
You see that? So it says it's a what thing?
Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
You see that? So when we walk in this walk right here, the Most High, like he tell us to endure it. If you suffer wrongly, go ahead through it. But he said it's a righteous thing for him to bring that back upon those that do you wrong. You know what I'm saying? So again, if we make it, a lot of these people that did us wrong, and they might be on the other end of a sharp sword. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 7. And to you who are troubled, rest with us.
You see that, Ma? And everybody in this room that may be going through any form of tribulation, it says to you that are troubled. When we go through a lot of trials and troubles in this walk, right? Read on.
Rest with us.
Do what?
Rest with us.
You have rest in the Most High and the Mashiach. Those 7 spirits bring you rest, right? Read on.
When Hamashiach Yahusha shall be revealed from the Shamaim
Read.
with his mighty Malachim in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yahuwah, and that obey not the gospel of our master Yahusha Hamashiach.
You see that? So when it says who will rise up against the evildoers, it's going to be our big brother, the Mashiach. When he tell them, hey brother, son, get down there. I've had it, bring it upon them. He's coming. So a lot of people that don't want to obey the good news, meaning the kingdom of Israel is coming forth, we got to keep the law, we got to accept that sacrificial payment. They don't want to get down with that, you got a payment coming. And you ain't going to like it. Read on.
Who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of our master and from the glory of his power.
You see that? So again, that's why it's deadly important for us to operate and begin to grow in the 7 spirits of the Most High and the Mashiach. Right? One more script, John 17 and verse 17. And then we'll transition. What time is it? John 17 and verse 17.
Yahuganan, chapter 17 and verse 17.
Y'all being real patient. I know y'all about ready to, eat. We still got a few minutes before that sunset, so there's a few more precepts. John 17 and 17.
Sanctify them through your
You
truth.
see that? So the Mashiach was asking the Father to sanctify us through the truth. By definition, what's the truth, y'all?
The law.
I mean, I wasn't loud enough. By definition, what's the truth?
The law.
Huh? The Mashiach, but he was the word, brother. He was the law rolled into
42.
Huh?
Psalms 119, 142.
Exactly. Sanctify them through the truth. So just knowing we Israel, is that enough? Nah, brother.
That's just the knowledge.
Because 2/3 of our people got to go, brother. That remnant got to come through the fire. But there's a lot of our people that's going to perish. I'm talking about brothers running around right now can break down with history, the whole nine, and curses everything. We the children of Israel. But you ain't going to make it if you ain't dealing with the truth.
Right.
Drop down to verse 21.
Verse 21. That they all may be one.
That they may what?
That they all may be one.
So he says, sanctify them through the truth, right? So we all can be one. There's only one body in the Mashiach. Sometimes we don't see eye to eye on different doctrines, whatever the case may be. But we all are part of the body. Read on.
As you, Father, are in me, and I in you, that they also may be one in us.
So just like we read in Revelations where it said that he that had the 7 spirits of the Most High. And then we read that in Isaiah, he exemplified these things. We got to follow his footsteps. That we may be one in what?
That the world may believe that you have sent me.
You see that? So when we walk in the seven spirits of the Most High, that represents to the earth that the Most High was faithful in fulfilling what he wrote in the prophets. When we represent properly, not half doing it, not sometime in being an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? You can't punch this clock. This is going on forever, perpetual, like a Rolex. You know what I'm saying? So with that, that's the end of that particular portion. And I hope you was edified to your spirit.
Hallelujah.
Keep that clap going. Keep that clap going. All praises to the Father.
I was with it.
So glad. So glad.
Keep it going all the time.
Everything that has breath. Everything that has breath. All praises to the Most High. On this set apart day. So we're gonna deal with the feast, the ordinance, and what we gathered from this feast. And we're gonna hit a couple of precepts pertaining to this feast. So first, let's start off in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter.
Make sure we keep it down, y'all. Still going, we still recording live. Keep the order going.
Leviticus 23 and verse 1.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 1. And the Most High spake to Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say to them, concerning the feast of Yahuwah.
Concerning the what?
The feast of Yahuwah, which you shall proclaim to be Kadesh, convocations. Even these are my feasts.
And when you look at that feast, that means appointed times, right? Even these are my appointed times, or the times that I appointed for these different celebrations and memorials, right? So let's go to verse 23.
Verse 23. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall you have a Shabbat, a memorial of blowing of trumpets.
Okay, now he said in the first day of the month, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, right? And we determined at the very beginning of class, what determines the first day of the month? Everybody? The new moon, right? Okay, so we kept the watchful eye for that new moon, and I always try to see when it's spotted in Israel, so that because they're gonna get it like seven hours before we will. So when it was spotted in Israel, well, when it wasn't spotted that first day when we were supposed to have a feast, and then it changed, and then it wasn't spotted again, which sometimes you see that where there's dark moons for 2 nights in a row, and even though you might check the internet and check the phone app, and they'll say that the moon is waxed 1 or 2%. However, when you look up in the sky, you can't visually see 1 or 2%, right? So we have to wait until the moon was actually spotted the way that they did it in ancient times, right? When they had watchmen that looked out for these particular things that spotted that new moon. So it was spotted in the land of Israel. What was that, yesterday around 6:50 p.m. So we got it yesterday. Me and a few of the other brothers actually witnessed it. We stepped outside and took a look at that first crescent, that silver moon, right? So it says that in the 7th month, and the first day of the month is what? Verse
24. Right?
23. Read 23 again.
23.
I mean 24.
Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall you have a Shabbat, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a Kadesh convocation. You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire.
That's the ordinance of the feast. No servile work, and offer an offering made by fire. Let's go to Numbers 29 and verse 1. Numbers 29 and verse 1. Because it's something key that I want to show y'all that we may or may not know.
Numbers what?
29 and 1.
The book of Numbers, chapter 29 and verse 1. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall have a Kadesh convocation. You shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing of trumpets unto you.
Now we just read that in Leviticus Leviticus 23, right? Read verse 1 out of the Hallelujah scriptures. Because automatically when you see the blowing of trumpets, right, you think the blowing of trumpets, right? So you think that when we look at that in the Hebrew, the word shofar should be there, right? Let's see what it is. Read it.
Numbers 29 and 1 in the Hallelujah translation. And in the 7th month, on the first of the month, you have a Kadesh gathering. You do no servile work. It is a Yom Torah for you.
The Yom Torah, right? That means it's a day of shouting or a day of noise. So when one of the loudest noises, or a loud shout, one of the loudest noises that we can make was with the trumpet. I'm going to show you that through these precepts. That Yom Torah isn't always necessarily with the trumpet, but it's also with the loud voice as well. Especially when you're talking about praise and unto the Most High, right? And a shouting of victory and all of these different things. So let's grab that in the Strong's Concordance. That's H8643. H8643.
Out of the Strong's, H8643. Teriah from 73:21 to clamor, i.e. acclamation of joy, a battle cry, especially of trumpets as an alarm.
Especially of trumpets as an alarm. So you got the trumpet, but it's also a battle cry and a clamoring, or even just a making of loud noise. That clamor is a making of loud noise. Yeah, you keep reading.
Okay. Trumpets, joy, jubilee, loud noise, rejoicing, shouting, high joyful sounding.
Right? High joy. That's good right there. Okay, let's go to Numbers chapter 10 real quick. And I'll show y'all a few different examples. And it was so fitting when Brother Travis asked Elder Lutalo to come up to the front and bring a song, right? And that song was Every Praise is to Yah, right? And we shouted out that praise, that hallelujah, right? Because this is key when you're dealing with this feast day in particular, and this shout of joy, right? We're gonna get to it. Numbers chapter 10, and let's start at verse 1.
The book of Numbers, chapter 10 and verse 1. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, Make you 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shall you make them, that you may use them for the calling of the assembly.
That you may use them for doing what?
For the calling of the assembly.
So just like before we start class, right, before we begin to pray in, what does Brother Kodesh do every Shabbat? He blow the shofar, right? For letting everybody know it's time to assemble. The calling of the assembly. It's time to, let's get down to business, right, as it pertains to this Shabbat. Now, when you go through it, it tells you, well, in fact, let's read it. Let's keep reading.
And for the journeying of the camps.
Mm-hmm. So when the camps was going out into battle and all of these things, that the shofar, or these 2 silver horns here, were blown, and it was blown in a certain way in order to call their attention as to what to do, the commands and what to do, right? Read.
And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to you at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
So when they blew both of those trumpets together, all the assembly was supposed to assemble together at the door of the tabernacle. Read.
And if they blow but one trumpet, then the princes, which are the heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto you.
So when they blew only one, then those heads that Moshe set up, right, over the different tribes, right, only those would be called to attention that would get together. He read.
When you blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When you blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey.
So that alarm right there, that's that word turiyah. When you blow an alarm, it's a noun, a Hebrew noun that comes from the Hebrew word ruach, which means to make a noise, right? So that turiyah is the noun portion. It's the noise. So when you blow an alarm or when you make that noise with that trumpet, and we all know what an alarm is. If you're going to put an alarm on your car, on your house, you want it to be loud, right? To get attention, right? To say, hey, over here, look, right? Read.
They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm.
So you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm, which means you shall give it. It'll be a different sound that you blow. It won't be that alarm. It'll be something different. Let's go to Joshua chapter 6 and verse 5.
The book of Yahushua, chapter 6 and verse 5. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout.
All the people shall shout with a great shout. Now that shout is that word ruach in the Hebrew that means make a noise. With a great shout is that noun. That great shout is turiyah. This is a day of that great shout, right? That great shout of praise, of joy, of victory. We're gonna see that all throughout Scripture. He reads.
And the wall of the city shall fall down.
And what'll happen? What's gonna happen?
The wall of the city shall fall down flat.
Keep going.
And the people shall ascend up every man straight before him.
Now we see this is when they knocked down the walls of Jericho, right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 47. Because that turiyah refers specifically to a noise that's made by gathering the saints. And we're going to see that in particular in the book of Psalms. Let's start at verse 1, chapter 47, verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 47 and verse 1. Oh, clap your hands.
Do what?
Oh, clap your hands.
And we was giving those hand claps of praise unto the Most High all throughout this service or this class, right? Read.
All you people, shout to the Most High.
Do what?
Shout to the Most High.
That loud noise. Shout. That's that loud noise, right? Shout to the Most High. How?
With the voice of triumph.
With the voice of triumph. Read.
For Yahuwah, the Most High is terrible.
That terrible meaning what? Awesome. For the Most High is awesome. So when we give that shout with a voice of triumph, knowing that the Most High is awesome, read.
He is a great king over the earth.
And what shall he do for us? Read.
He shall subdue the people under us and the nations under our feet.
So that shout of joy, right? That shout of triumph, the Most High is going to subdue all of these nations up under our feet. So like Brother Shofar was bringing forth earlier with these different seven spirits of the Most High. And dealing with these seven spirits, right? We have to be confident in the fact that the Most High is going to subdue these enemies under our feet because we represent him in all things, right? Let's go to Psalm 66 and verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 66 and verse 1. Make a joyful noise.
Do what?
Make a joyful noise.
And that's that same word, that ruach, right? Make a joyful noise unto who?
Unto the Most High. All you lands. Sing forth the honor of his name.
And say what?
Make his praise highly esteemed. Say unto the Most High.
Say what unto the Most High?
How terrible are you in your works?
How awesome is the Most High in all his works. Read.
Through the greatness of your power shall your enemies submit themselves to you.
So what?
Submit themselves to
Shall
you.
your enemies submit themselves unto you. Read.
All the earth shall worship you.
Just Israel.
All the earth shall worship you.
Shall worship you. All the earth shall worship you, because how awesome the Most High is. It says, make a joyful noise unto the Most High and say unto Yahuwah, how awesome are you in your works, right? All the works that the Most High created, how awesome it is. Even with just partaking that moon, it was an awesome experience just seeing that the Most High created this thing as a sign for us to be able to recognize when to keep his appointed times. It was really just, we were standing back in awe just witnessing this thing. But it says make that joyful noise. And even when we get to blowing these trumpets and blowing these shofars and we making that joyful noise and lifting up our voice, also we're making that joyful noise unto the Most High for the awesome work that he has done, not only for us, not only to this world, but for us in subduing our enemies before our face, even before we come in contact with them. Let's go to Psalms 81. Verse 1.
Psalms 81 and verse 1. Sing aloud unto the Most High our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob.
There it goes again. Our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob. Read.
Take a song and bring here the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery.
And do what in verse 3?
Blow up the trumpet in the new moon.
In the new moon.
In the time appointed on our solemn feast day.
Keep reading.
For this was a statute for Israel.
For how long?
And a law of the power of Yaakov.
Right.
This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went through the land of Mitzrayim, where I heard a language that I understood not.
That's good right there. So it says make that joyful noise, not only with your voice, but with the timbrel and the psaltery, and blow up the trumpet, blow the shofar. It's specific in the noise that we're supposed to make. Let's go to Psalms 100. And we got to understand that when we come into contact with all of these hardships and all of these things, understanding that we have the victory already, right? The Most High has given us that victory, and we need to, whenever you see somebody, especially an underdog, right? And you see them in say, a fight or a sports match or something like that. When they get that win, when they get that W, what are they doing? They shouting. I mean, you can't stop them from shouting for joy, right? We watched the video the other day where this sister knocked this woman out cold, one shot right to the nose, and you couldn't stop her from shouting. She was running all around the ring, shouting in triumph and victory. The same thing when we understand that the Most High has already given us victory over these different obstacles and different things that is put in our way by the enemy. It's also sometimes a test of that strength in our faith, right? And we have to all understand that we already have victory over these things. And we have to let it be known unto the Most High that we understand that with that joyful noise and that shouting. Start at verse 1. 101.
Psalms 101 and verse 1. I will sing of mercy and judgment.
No, Psalms 100 and verse 1. My bad.
Psalms 100 and verse 1. Make a joyful noise unto Yahuwah, all you lands.
There it goes again. Make a joyful noise. And do what else? Keep reading.
Serve Yahuwah with gladness.
With what?
With gladness.
Solemnly.
With gladness.
Read.
Come before his presence with singing.
How?
With singing.
So we can't stand back there like we too cool to lift up our voice and sing, right?
Yeah,
make that joyful noise, right? Come before his presence. And we know that when is the Most High when are we in the Most High's presence? When we gather together for his name's sake, right? Come into his presence, how?
Come before his presence with singing.
Read.
Know you that Yahuwah is the Most High.
Stop right there. Think. It says, know you that Yahuwah is the Most High. Know you that Yahuwah is not a thinking thing. It's not a questioning. It's not a game. You already know that he's the Most High. He's the highest, right? He's the only one that can already defeat our enemies before we face with any obstacle. We got to know for a fact of a surety. Be confident that he is the Most High. Read.
It is he that made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture.
So keep reading.
Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful to him and bless his name.
Keep reading.
For Yahuwah is good.
All the time, right? Read.
His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generations.
And his truth endures to all generations. Let's grab Joshua chapter 6 again, and let's go to verse 20. Because we need to see what happens when they brought down the walls of Jericho and they blew those shofars, and you heard that loud shout, right, from the people. Verse 20.
The book of Yahushua, chapter 6 and verse 20. So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets.
That great shout, right? That Yom Teruah, day of shouting, right? The people shouted when the priest blew the shofar. Read.
And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
And they took the city. Understand that when we give that great shout, that shout of triumph, that the Most High will give you the power to not only subdue anything in your path, but to take a city, right? These people came and took a city with just that loud cry of triumph, with their voices. They didn't fight. They didn't battle. They knocked those walls down with that loud shout, right, of triumph, of victory. A war that was supposed to be impenetrable. That these people had confidence that, oh, they can't nobody harm us. Look at our walls. And they just gave up a loud cry unto the Most High, and he knocked that wall down. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 4. Chapter 4 and verse 5.
1 Samuel chapter 4 and verse 5. And when the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout.
With a what?
With a great shout.
That same Turiah, right? All of Israel shouted with a great shout, because what came into the camp? The ark. What was inside the ark? The law and the testimony, right? They shouted with a great shout because of what the book of Psalms says, that he ain't deal with no other family this way, right? He showed his laws and his statutes under Jacob, right? And we shouted with a great shout of victory. That was our covenant between the Most High and ourselves. Read.
So that the earth rang again. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said,
who were the Philistines? The enemies of Israel, right? And when they heard that noise of that great shout, what did they say?
When they heard the noise of the shout, they said, what means the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of Yahuwah was come into the camp. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, the Most High has come into the camp. And they said, woe to us.
Woe to us. Read.
For there has not been such a thing before.
So because there's not been such a thing before. Woe to us, the enemies of the Most High's people, because they have the laws. They have the covenant with the Most High. Woe to us, because it's a wrap. It's over for us. We can't stand up against them. Let's get Ezra, the 3rd chapter, verse 11.
The book of Ezra, chapter 3 and verse 11. And they sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto the Most High.
They sang together how?
They sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto Yahuwah.
Keep reading.
Because he is good, for his mercy endures forever toward Israel.
His mercy endures forever toward us, because this is when Ezra came back, and they were going to rebuild the temple, right? When they exited out of Babylon, out of that bondage, right? And they were saying, great is the Most High, for he is good, and his mercy endures forever toward us. He reinstituted the same covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for the children of Israel. Read.
And the people shouted with a great shout.
That great shout again, that shout of victory, understanding that it's because of the Most High's mercy that we were allowed this thing. Read.
When they praised Yahuwah, because the foundation of the house of Yahuwah was laid.
Because they had relayed that foundation, and that's what we did when we came into this truth, right? Let's get Psalms 89. That's what we did when we came into this truth, right? We relayed that foundation of the Most High. That foundation is what? The law, the statutes, the ordinances, and the judgments that's between him and Israel, between he and us. And we reestablished that foundation, so it should be a great shout of praise at all times, right?
So, to be honest with you, when we get to singing these songs under Elder Lutalo, everybody should be doing their best. None of us can. I know I can't sing. You know what I'm saying? Most of us can't. But still give your best. You know what I'm saying? It be looking kind of sad in there sometimes, to be honest with you. You be singing? Well, we used to sing in the church, buddy. You do a great job, buddy.
Verse 15. Verse 15. I got driver's license.
The book of Psalms, chapter 89 and verse 15. Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Yahuwah, in the light of your countenance.
That knows that joyful sound. What does it mean to know? Right? To be intimate. To know that joyful sound, right? That's that same joyful sound. This is the same day that ordinance was established for that joyful sound, that loud noise, right? Read.
In thy name shall they rejoice all the day, and in your righteousness shall they be exalted.
Read that. Read verse 16 again.
Verse 16. In your name shall they rejoice all the day.
Just on Sabbath.
In your name shall they rejoice all the day.
From 2 o'clock to sundown.
In your name shall they rejoice all the day.
All the day. Read.
And in your righteousness shall they be exalted.
Shall they be exalted. We be exalted due to the Most High's righteousness. Not because we're righteous, but because he's righteous. Now let's grab this last one in Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. Psalms 89, 15 to 16. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. Yeah, Zephaniah.
The book of Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. The great day of Yahuwah is near.
That great, what is it talking about, the great day? That great day. What do you think that great day is? Well, the day of the Mashiach returning, right? Is what? Read it again.
The great day of Yahuwah is near.
And we know we in those latter days, right? Those latter times. We know that the great day of the Most High, it is near. Read.
It is near and haste greatly. Let's try to keep it down, y'all. Even the voice of the day of Yahuwah, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath.
What the Most High taking out his wrath on those people who are not walking uprightly, right? Read.
A day of trouble and distress. A day of wasteness and desolation. A day of darkness and gloominess. A day of clouds and thick darkness. A day of the trumpet.
A day of what?
Of the trumpet. An alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers.
That great day of the Most High is a day of the trumpet against the fenced cities and the high towers. There's nothing that's going to be able to save you from that great day except that you're walking uprightly according to these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Because when that trumpet sounds, whoa, right? It's gonna be some head busting going on, right?
Exactly. So y'all get that picture, right? It's highly important for us to be giving the Most High the utmost praise possible, right? And that's that one aspect of trumpets. That's why we have to, we got to make sure we orderly in everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? That we got to exemplify this thing to the T. Because if we don't, we're going to be caught in the wrath. And all the gathering, all the stuff we did will be for nothing. But if we continue on this path, we good. Now let's look at another aspect of trumpets. That praise, we definitely, man, that's something serious. I know when we singing these songs, it don't seem like we got much to sing about, do it? Brothers good, they going home, they gonna eat, they straight, right? When these people activate what they got coming for us, then we gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? When we might get separated a bit.